Hi yogis, welcome to Yoga with Mesa. My name is Mesa and today I have a 30-minute yin yoga sequence for you. Today we will be working deep into the hips and showing them a lot of love. And I want us to keep in mind that when we are working into the hips, especially in yin, when we're holding our poses for quite some time. For example, today we'll be holding everything for about 3 minutes each. And when we do that, we're working so deeply into the hips, the fascia, the tissues, and it might release some tension, some stress, and cause some deeper sensation than maybe we're used to in our day-to-day lives. And when we do this, when we feel this, this is that energy and tension being released. So hopefully we leave feeling a little bit lighter, a little more at ease, and a little more calm within. But just remember, if you feel discomfort, if you feel irritability or anger or sadness come up, that's completely normal, especially when we're working into the hips. But as always, if anything is pinching, burning, or stinging, that is a sign from your body to come out, maybe skip the posture, or just take a less sensational version of it. So just back out of it. And yeah, just listen to your heart for class today. Remember that my words are only ever a suggestion and the choice is always yours. Let's begin. We're going to meet in child's pose. Also, always a great option to have a couple of blocks and a blanket in yin, or bolster or pillow if you have one. If you don't have blocks, you can grab a book or a firm pillow. If you don't have a firm pillow, a floppy pillow will work just fine. Folding it in half. So let's bring the knees out wide at the back of our mat to begin working into these hips. Big toes come to touch, and you're gonna melt your upper body forward, reaching the hands forward. You also have the option, depending on your body, on your anatomy, if it's comfortable for you, you can bring the knees in close together and find that closed knee child's pose. I prefer the wide-legged one. So melt your heart forward, reach your palms out long in front of you. Option to place a block or blanket underneath your chest. Let your forehead melt to the earth. Then let's arrive on our mat. You carved this time out for yourself, so let the outside world dissolve. Come to your breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill all the way up with air, with love, with life, with oxygen. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Sink deeper into your mat. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Fill all the way up as your rib cage expands. And sigh it out. Let's do that one more time. Take a breath in, the biggest breath you've taken all day. Can you sip in a little more air at the top? Hold full of that air. And when it's no longer comfortable, you can open your mouth, release your breath, and sink deeper. Maybe you crawl the fingertips out a little farther, sit the hips back a little more. And just watch your breath. Watch the inhales as they expand your body, your being, your mind. And watch the exhales as they soften everything and guide you to sink a little deeper, release a little more. Notice the state of your heart. Is it heavy with sadness or light with joy? Maybe somewhere in between. Notice the state of your heart without judging it or labeling it good or bad. Just bring your compassion into this space as the observer the witness to the emotions and sensations in your body. And today, as we work into these hips, try to remain the observer as you see emotion and sensation arise. Maybe you see what's already there, and try not to fight it. Try to breathe into whatever you're feeling. Remember that you are not your emotions and you are not your sensations. You are simply the witness behind them. So when you start to feel like you're becoming them and it becomes overwhelming, come back to your breath. Let it be your guide. Let it bring you back to the present moment when your thoughts and feelings try to carry you into the future and into the past. So let's take a deep breath together, in through the nose, and let it go. Let's begin to shift into our next posture, carrying this mindful breath with us. So press yourself up onto the palms, and remember in yin we want to try to move very soft and very slow so we can keep that state of calm in our body. So press to the palms, shift the hips over your knees. If you had your knees out wide, walk them underneath your hips. Place your palms about one palm print forward. Tuck your toes and send your hips up towards the sky to find downward facing dog. Pressing that heart towards your thighs. If you'd like, you can take this moment to walk out your dog, pedaling your feet, sending those hips a little higher towards the sky, keeping that bend in your knees so the heart comes closer to the legs. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, shift forward to your high plank. Just roll forward for that breath in, and exhale, bend your knees and roll your hips back up towards the sky. Inhale, lift your right heel. Keep your hips level. Exhale, bend your right knee, shift forward and set your right knee behind your right wrist, aiming for that figure 7 shape with the right shin. And then soften your left knee to the earth and slide it back. Coming into our pigeon or our swan, you want to find an equal distribution of weight in your swan. And if this is not serving you or your body's like, no, please get me out of here, you can take your reclined figure 4, so coming down onto the spine. And I will show you that once we get settled into here if you choose that option. So if you are in your swan, again, equal distribution of weight. You can start here with that tall spine. Notice how you feel. Do you need support? If you have a blanket, you can slide it underneath that right hip, and that's going to help you feel a little bit more supported. Once you are comfortable here, keeping in mind that we want a comfortable discomfort. So something that is not too deep, but it is causing sensation and a little bit of that discomfort. So find your edge. Take a deep breath in, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, option to find your sleepy swan by melting the palms forward. Melting forearms to earth, maybe onto your blanket, maybe onto blocks. And if you have blocks, you can rest either your forearms or your forehead onto them, whatever you'd like. If you want to find that reclined figure 4 as an alternative, you can come onto the back, bend your knees, cross your right ankle over your left thigh till you start to feel that stretch on your outer right glute and hip. And then to deepen it, you can wrap your hands behind that left thigh or maybe even the shin, and you're gonna get a very similar stretch. Wherever you are is perfect. Honor your body, honor your practice. This is your space to experiment and to find what works for you as you are on this journey of release. So wherever you are, once you find your depth, take that big, beautiful breath in. And exhale to soften where you can. Take about 3 more breaths. Notice where you are resisting. Breathe into that resistance and offer to let it go with an exhale. And again, breathe in. Where are you fighting? Breathe into it. And soften it. Once more, breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful. If you are someone who was bent forward, begin to kindly press yourself up onto the palms. Remember to move slowly, mindfully. And if you are on your spine in your reclined figure 4, you can stay on the back. We're going to switch to the other side. So if you're in that figure 4, you can go ahead and switch whenever you're ready. From our swan, tuck those left toes. Use them to help scoot that left knee forward, just to take it easy on the hips. Slide your right knee back to meet your left to find your tabletop. Palms are underneath your shoulders. Let's find one round of our cat-cow. Inhale, lower your belly, roll your shoulders back. Tilt your tailbone high. Exhale, chin to chest, round your back, curl it all in. Inhale, tabletop, neutral spine. Exhale, tuck your toes and peel your hips up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, lift your left heel, level hips. Exhale, bend your left knee, shift forward and set your left knee behind your left wrist. And soften your right knee to the earth so you can slide that right leg back. Again, we want to find that equal distribution of weight in our hips. And then you always have the option to slide maybe a blanket or a pillow underneath your left hip for more support. Maybe you start with a blanket and then take it out as your hips invite you deeper. And then option to bring blocks into your space. Again, you can stay up on the palms in your swan, or you can find your sleepy swan by breathing in, lifting your heart. And as you exhale, keeping that upper body lifted out of the waist as you release your heart forward, you can come down, find your sleepy swan. Wherever you are is perfect. Maybe this side feels different than your other side. So just invite your props in, play with them, and find what works for you. When you arrive in the depth of your choosing, take a breath in and out. And settle in. your mind has wandered away from your breath, guide your awareness back to the inhales and the exhales. Doing your best to stay present with sensation. Pigeon pose or sleeping swan or your swan is well known for its ability to bring up discomfort or maybe agitation or sadness or tears, maybe a furrowed brow. See if you can honor whatever is there without trying to change it. Breathe into it. Relax the face. Breathe into whatever you are feeling. Know that it's okay. And take one more round of breath all the way in, all the way out. If you were forward, melted forward, kindly, calmly begin to press yourself back up onto the palms. And if you are on your reclined figure 4, we're going to come back to the hands and knees. So transition there on your own time. Tuck your toes and then use them to help scoot that right knee forward so you can slide the left knee back to meet your right. Take it easy. Work out that left hip if you need to. Let's find a cat-cow. Inhale, breathe in, lower your belly, shoulders back, cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, curl it all in. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Feel free to pedal it out. And here, if it's calling to you, you can very gently maybe lift one leg and then the other. If you want to peel your hips open, so stacking one hip over the other, just feel free to play around, but not moving too quickly, moving slowly and mindfully. I want you to do whatever feels good in your down dog. And when you're ready, we'll come back down to the knees. Find your tabletop. Take a breath in and a breath out. Next, as you inhale, bend your right knee, bring it forward, and then cross your right ankle over your left leg. So you want right knee over the left. So you've got this shoelace posture with the knees. And if this is plenty, stay right here. Want to feel the hips starting to be activated. If you want to find deeper sensation, you can begin to melt your heart forward. So find that puppy pose with the upper body, but those legs are crossed. See how that feels? Maybe you're gently setting the hips back. And this is one option. If you would like to go a little deeper into the hips, if you have a block, you can set it behind where your hips will land. And then walk your hands back, walk your hips back to find that supported shoelace. You want your right heel coming towards the outside of your left heel coming towards the outside of your right hip, and see how this feels. If this is plenty, again, stay here. If you want a little more, breathe in, lift your heart. And as you exhale, you can walk the fingertips forward until you begin to find a sensation that is suitable for you. Stay with your breath. And again, we are honoring anything that comes up. We're taking it easy on ourselves today. While we are giving the hips a lot of love and a lot of attention, it is so important to remember that you are never stuck. Right? The choice is always yours. You choose to stay, you choose to build resilience. If you choose to come out, you choose to love and honor your body when it's asking you to take it a little easier. So there's no right or wrong here in yin. Honor your body, honor your heart, your practice, your spirit. Take a breath in exhale to soften a little more. And if it calls to you, eventually maybe you round forward, bringing forearms to blocks or earth. Take 3 more breaths. Nice, slow, healing breaths. And carefully, kindly begin to walk your hands back. Find that tall spine. And then take a breath in to lift your heart. And then exhale to lift your hips up off of your block to walk your hands back to underneath your shoulders. Option 2, unravel your knees, or you can tuck your toes and find this cross-legged downward dog. So send your hips up towards the sky. Let it feel good. Again, always the option to unravel the feet. Maybe you pedal one leg and then the other. Feel free to be a little creative, but just move softly. Take a breath in. Exhale, knees come back down, and then we will unravel. So come back to your tabletop. And let's do that on the other side. So this time that left knee is gonna tuck in and then cross your left foot over to the right side of your space. So now left knee is over the top of the right, and you can stay here. That is always an option if you're feeling plenty. If you want to take it a little deeper, see how your puppy pose feels with the legs crossed this way. Maybe you sit your hips back a little bit as you melt the heart forward. And this is also going to help you work more into the heart and shoulders if you're craving that. If you want a little more, bring your hands back up, slide your block underneath where your hips will go, and then sit your hips back onto your block. There's no right or wrong here. We're honoring the body. So if this is plenty or if this is too much, remember you can come back to that puppy pose variation. If you want a little more, you are able to breathe in, lift your heart. And as you exhale, just walking those hands forward, find some depth, find your edge. And remember that you're never stuck, my friend. You can always come out, you can always go deeper. Find your unique expression of this pose. And then come back home to your heart, to your breath. Take a deep breath in this moment. And exhale to soften. Maybe the forearms come a little closer to your mat. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Once more, breathe in. Is there anywhere else you're holding tension? Exhale, let it go. Inhale to gently walk your hands back. Find your tall spine. Take that breath in and out. And let's shift forward. Come to the hands underneath the shoulders. And again, you can find your traditional downward facing dog by unraveling the feet, or see how it feels to tuck your toes from right here and send your hips up towards the sky. So just trying something a little different. Remember that you in your body, you have so many options you can experiment with. And this is just one example of how your body can play and be creative. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, come back down onto your knees. Unravel them so you have that traditional tabletop. And then walk your knees forward. Sit your hips off to the side so you come down onto your sit bones. Send your feet out long in front of you. Set your hips behind your hands behind your hips. Press into your feet and your palms. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Option to let your head hang heavy behind you. Reverse tabletop. Let the front of your hips open up. Take a couple of breaths here. Each inhale lifts you a little higher. Once more, breathe in. And exhale, release. Hips come down to your mat. Extend your legs out long in front of you and work your way all the way down, keeping it controlled as you come down. Let your head rest. Let your arms rest. And if you have any props you'd like to use to get a little cozy, now would be a nice time. You can cover yourself up with a blanket, or maybe place the blanket under your head like a pillow, maybe under your knees to support your lower back. And we're gonna seal our class from Shavasana today. Since this is a 30-minute class and we worked pretty good into those hips, I wanna give you some time to let the nutrients of your practice absorb. So just rest here for these next few minutes. I'm gonna close out our class. If there's anything I can leave you with, it is to be your biggest cheerleader rather than your biggest critic. Be kind to yourself so you can be kind to others. Let's seal our practice with one final round of breath. Remembering that compassion and that inner cheerleader. Breathe in, thank yourself for showing up. Fill all the way up with air, with love. Open mouth, exhale, surrender. Rest here now and trust that your body, your being, your heart will wake you when it's time and when it's ready. All of my love. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, so much for joining me. It was my honor to guide you. I hope you found some relief from class today. If not, that's perfectly okay as well. Remember to honor your body as you move on into the rest of your day or night, and to continue being that cheerleader to yourself, not the critic. All of my love. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night.